So I, 36 male, have a brother, Mike, 44, who has a daughter, Addie, teen. For her birthday, Mike bought Addie a used, but still very nice car. She totaled it 2 months later in an accident where she was 100% at fault, and Mike didn't buy her another one. So far, she's gotten by with Mike's car, but he recently had to take a business trip out of town and was worried about her being home alone without a car. He asked me to lend her my car for a few days as a favor. My wife and I each have one, and it wouldn't be a major inconvenience to me. I reluctantly agreed. When it was time for me to take my car back, Mike told me that Addie had accidentally put diesel in it and it died in their driveway. I had it towed to a repair shop and asked for $1,500, the amount quoted to me by the mechanic, from Mike to get it fixed. Mike told me he would transfer the money soon, and I told him to take as much time as he needed. Later that afternoon, Mike's wife, Lisa, called to tell me that the money for my car would be coming out of Addie's already meager college fund. She begged me to let the money go because Addie needed that money for college. She actually started crying, and I started feeling really bad. The thing is, I do have the money to pay for the repairs. I'd have taken it out of my and my wife's shared savings account. I actually already have it with my wife's permission. I would put the money from Mike into that same savings account to restore the original amount. Even so, I told Lisa that Addie needs to have consequences for her actions, and if that means she has less college money, then that's what it means. She meekly agreed and hung up. Yesterday, I got a text from my sister. She basically called me a selfish idiot for taking money out of Addie's college fund over a stupid mistake. She said that I was being cruel and that she knew I had the money, so I should just bite the bullet and let them keep the money. Now I'm struggling with this dilemma, and I figured that I should get some unbiased perspective. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It shouldn't be coming out of her parents' pocket, your pocket, or her college fund. She's a teen and can drive. She can work. Addie needs to get a job and pay for something to learn the value of $1. Let her pay for it. Depending on how hard she works, you could cut her a break if she's short, or make her pay every penny. I would say the biggest problem is that it seems like Addie's not been taught correctly about how to be responsible with cars. Kids do stupid stuff, but kids are more likely to do stupid stuff when their parents don't teach it correctly. If she's that way with cars, she's probably that way with other aspects of her life. Again, given that she's a teen, I would say that it's her parents' faults for not teaching their daughter correctly. Are you sure that's the biggest problem? Hearing how the wife handled the situation, crying and not wanting to take responsibility, etc., to me, she sounds like the biggest problem. The daughter probably gets her behavior from the wife. Really, since she's a teen and the dad asked for the car, the responsibility is 100% on the parents. The parents can choose how it's paid and what the consequences are for Addie, but it's not up to OP to tell them how to parent or where to get the money from. Likewise, it's the parents who have decided it's coming out of the college fund, so really not okay to try and guilt OP about where the money's coming from. That was their own parental decision. The parents need to grow up and take responsibility for their own decisions and responsibilities. Funny thing, when Addie totaled a car bought for her by her parents, as a consequence, they didn't buy her another car. But when she destroyed OP's car, her parents, mother especially, didn't see it as she should bear the consequences of that. The fact that your sister jumped in, expecting you to completely suck up the cost, makes her the real idiot in this situation. Your sister seems to be awfully generous with your money. If sis thinks $1,500 shouldn't be taken out of Addie's college fund, then she can pay for Addie's stupid mistake. To be fair, I thought it was an innocent question at the time, but now my fiance is demanding an apology, and I refuse. I, 28 male, have been working and trying to get things moving for my fiance and the kids. I'm building our house. She is currently 26 weeks pregnant, cannot help with the build, and has been staying home with the kids. We're currently staying with my sister, just until the build is complete, because we didn't want to renew our lease. I prefer it this way too, but I'm getting a bit stressed myself handling everything alone. When I get home and ask her anything, she looks super angry that I'm even talking to her. Just super irritable and over the top constantly, it seems, and that puts even more on my plate. Well, yesterday I was fed up because she got angry over a seatbelt locking into place, and I said, "Are we just going to be angry every day?" I was laughing when I said it. She looks at me disgusted and looks away. I asked what was wrong, and she said, "I'm just stressed out." So I said, "What do you have to be stressed out about?" She immediately lost it on me. She said something to the effect of, "I'm wrangling 3 kids while pregnant. I have severe pain constantly. I never get a break at all because when the kids aren't harassing me, your sister and her kid are. I can't even sleep because of the stupid dog that runs in the house. I can hardly walk most days due to the pain, and I'm still expected to be the emotional barrier and answer your million questions 24/7, and I'm done. What do I have to be stressed about? You have one job, physical labor. Don't you dare ask me what I have to be stressed about." I just stayed quiet because she was obviously well past her breaking point. Later in the evening, after she went to the vehicle and checked out for an hour, not speaking to anyone, I approached it again and said she needed to discuss this stuff with me before blowing up, and she snapped again, stating that she had absolutely discussed this with me many times, but I'm so stuck in pity land that I dismiss her at every turn. I don't recall her ever mentioning anything to me. Regardless, she's saying she wants an apology, and I won't give one. She's the one who blew up, not me. Am I the idiot? OP, what are you stressed about? Fiance literally tells him, OP, she hasn't told me why she's stressed. Look, OP, I get you might have stuff on your plate too, but instead ask her, how can I help? She has 3 kids and 1 on the way, along with living with your sister's family and her home. It's not easy. While she shouldn't have yelled at you, she's telling you what's wrong. This is bad advice. If you have to ask how you can help, she's still carrying the mental load. He works set hours, and she works all the time, which means he gets time off when he's home. So what he needs to do is get home, figure out what needs to be done on his own, kids' bath, cleaning up, etc., and just do it. Build awareness and contribute. You are the idiot, dude. These are your kids too. I refuse to apologize. Oh, boo-hoo. Be compassionate. Get your pathetic pride outside your butt and apologize. I feel sorry for the poor woman. She deserves better than what she's got. I'm impressed she's put up with you long enough to get knocked up a 4th time. And she's not even his wife. Dude has knocked her up 4 times now and still hasn't bothered to marry her. Why she's stuck around and kept getting pregnant by a guy who apparently has no idea that raising kids and making babies is actual work, I have no idea. He shouldn't push his luck. My boyfriend, 27, and I, female, 26, have been together for 4 years. We dated for 3 years, broke off for a couple of months, and then got back together. Since we got back together, he's been very needy and insisting that we should spend more time together, which is nice. But I sometimes feel like he's a bit pushy, honestly. He doesn't like it when I go out with friends or insist on always coming along. So the issue is that he had a work trip to Boston last week. It really was just a meeting on Saturday with some people from the company. He asked me if I wanted to come too, and we could spend the weekend there as a little getaway. I said yes, and was excited about the trip. However, my best friend, male 26, got into a car accident the Wednesday before the trip. It wasn't that bad, but he broke an arm. He was generally bruised and in bad shape emotionally. So I told my boyfriend I won't be able to go on a trip since I wanted to be there for my friend. He got very angry. He told me that he was fine and didn't really need me there. I told him that he did, and the trip really wasn't anything special, just a work trip. He was upset, so he said many things, like saying if I just wanted to continue being single, I shouldn't have agreed to get back to him. We argued very bad that night. Honestly, the next couple of days, he tried changing my mind, but as he couldn't, he let it go. However, since he came back, he's been acting very cold toward me and practically ignoring when I ask him for the trip. He just tells me it was fine, or you would know if you had come too. I'm very annoyed with him. I feel like he doesn't want to understand my side. But am I the idiot? Edit. My friend is gay. Would you rather I lie and say he wasn't giving me attention or something? I'm just telling the truth. Also, I cheated on my boyfriend because I felt like it, and I know that's wrong. I cheated more than once. The last one was like a year ago, I think. I took him back. He wanted me to go back with him, so I told him I would if he forgot everything, and he promised me he would do that. My boyfriend wants to date me just because of the benefits of dating me. It's just how it is. We both come from wealthy families, and he said he'd like a trophy wife like me. Yeah, you are the idiot. You cheated on him, and then ditched a joint trip with him to stay behind with the friend who needed emotional support. I understand why he isn't too happy with you. Ouch. With other men, too. Plural men. She's cheated on him multiple times, and yet he still stays. Poor guy. She has him all messed up. There's no real relationship here anymore. Just the dying and gasping members of a get-together that should have burnt out long ago. According to her, she took him back, LMAO, as if he owed her after she cheated on him. He's in a relationship with the memory of who he thought she was. She's not a good partner and shouldn't be dating anyone until she can figure out why she cheated multiple times. She has no interest in figuring it out. It's just how she is. OP, you cheated on your boyfriend multiple times with multiple guys, and you wonder why he's asking questions? No one can be that dense. Although perhaps you can see daylight from having your head so far up your posterior. If you want to be single, be single. You can do what you like then. Let the poor guy go so he can find someone better and get help. My son, teen, was invited on a hunting trip, and I let him go and gave him money to reimburse the other parent for food and stuff. He said he had a good time with his friend. His mom, my ex, is furious that I didn't consult her before allowing this. She said she didn't want him to go hunting again. I told her she has no say over what happens when our son is at my house. We got into a big fight over it. She said that as long as he's under 18, we must co-parent and make decisions together. Since his most recent birthday, he can go back and forth between our homes on his own. There's no need for us to interact with each other anymore. I told her as much. She said I was an idiot and that I needed to respect her as the mother of my child and make decisions with her. I said no, our relationship is over. We make separate independent choices now, and we no longer need to consult each other. My girlfriend says I need to make nice with my ex because it'll be better in the long run, making me wonder if I was unreasonable. Was I an idiot for letting my son go on a trip without consulting his mom? You are the idiot for we have no reason to interact anymore. She gets no say at my house is absolutely BS. You are both parents of a child, together. A safe trip with another family is not a huge deal, but she does have a right to know. What if he had an accident or got injured and she had no idea where he was? There are plenty of situations that do still need to be discussed. Your girlfriend is right. You should maintain a better co-parenting relationship with your ex-wife. I disagree. She doesn't want him to go again. She thinks this decision should have been made jointly, etc. The issue with this, many people are missing. For her, making a decision jointly appears to be one where she gets to decide, and the others get to jointly go along with it. The kid is a teen. He's old enough to decide things like this for himself. Take the hunting aspect out of it for a second. What if the son wanted to go skateboarding, or skiing, or an overnight camping trip? Does mom get to veto anything she regards as even remotely risky? Heck no. He's a teenager. If dad's okay with it, and there's no undue risk, she should have no say. Now, if you're talking about an abnormally risky activity, let's say motorcycle riding, hang gliding, or skydiving, then yes, I think mom needs to be on board. But giving mom veto power over every fun thing dad wants to do will lead to mom using that power vindictively to keep him from doing anything fun with his son. And that makes mom the idiot. I'm a civil servant and I'm in a labor union. The amount of time off an employee gets is determined by the government, and in cases of non-management, is backed by the union. It cannot be altered for an individual person, no matter their circumstances. When one of my colleagues lost his wife and child, and the paid bereavement leave was over, he asked people to donate their time off because he wasn't ready to return. He originally had 3 paid weeks off for bereavement leave. At the time, I didn't mind donating some time to him because I knew he had been through a tragedy, but now I'm getting tired of having to give up my time. The 2-year mark just passed. Not only are many people giving up their time off, but we must do his work on top of ours. Since he's on vacation and not on leave, he can't be replaced in his job, according to both union and government rules. Even if he could, there's no money in the budget to pay his full salary, as well as the salary for a replacement. I said none when I was asked by my colleague how much time I was donating for the latest round, and now I'm being treated like a pariah by everyone, even people not on my team or in my division. So many people have been donating because my colleague has been off for 2 years using donated time. Everyone's calling me cruel and heartless. I had no problem donating in the immediate aftermath, but I think 2 years is long enough. I've never been married, and I don't have kids, but I think he needs to figure something out because it's been long enough, and expecting people to donate their time is too much. Maybe I don't understand, and maybe I'm being too hard on the guy. Am I the idiot because I no longer want to donate my leave? It's bad enough I have to help do his work on top of my own, but I don't think wanting to use my own vacation time makes me a bad person. Also, just adding that my colleague can't use bereavement because he already did, and he doesn't have access to any kind of paid leave, which is why he always asks people to donate. I feel for him, I really do, but it's been long enough in my eyes. Am I the idiot? Wait, do I understand this correctly? Your colleague has been off for 2 years, using donated leave? If that's right, you are wildly not the idiot, in any way, shape, or form, for saying, you know what? I'd kinda like the time off I worked for to go to me for a change. Tragedy is everywhere, and it sounds like you've done very well by your colleague to help support them for the 101 extra weeks they've had to work through this enough to get back to work. He needs a lot of help if he's so grief-ridden that after 2 years he can't return to work. The answer is absolutely not to continue to donate your leave to him. Firstly, it is your leave. You deserve a break. Secondly, you are all enabling him. He'll never take steps to improve things while getting a free ride. Please go to HR about this situation. Anyone who's making you feel bad about your decision is a bully. I'm amazed HR has allowed this to happen for so long. It's a scam at this point. 2 paid years off is Jeff Bezos' level of crap. I'm not even sorry. That guy's playing everyone. The better question is, what has he been doing for 2 years? Like, I can't imagine he's never left the house during those 2 years. So is he going on vacations, going on dates, trying to kickstart a career? At this point, your coworker is being paid to not do his job at the expense of you and all your other coworkers. That's not right. I, female 30, have a bad relationship with my brother, Tom. They call him Tommy, 34. He's disabled, blind, and his condition has always been used as an excuse for how he treated me growing up. My parents always said he's struggling, and I should be sympathetic to his circumstances, but he has anonymously, been admitted it, called CPS on me. I have a preteen daughter. He did it after I refused to pay for one of his surgeries from my grandfather's inheritance money. I instead used the money for my daughter's private education. She has a learning disability, and public schools here were awful in how they treated her, and on the divorce with my ex-husband, who cheated on me, and now I have an open file with CPS, despite being cleared of all accusation. I kept my distance and am now engaged to my fiancé of 3 years and just had my baby boy. I'm on good terms with most of my family. They visited my son many times and started trying to talk me into letting Tom visit to meet my son. I refused and made it clear, but they kept pushing. Yesterday, my parents came to visit, and when I opened the door, I was shocked to see they had brought Tom with them. He was sitting in the car waiting. I snapped and asked my parents why they brought him, and they started begging, saying Tom deserves some grace and understanding due to his circumstances, and that he longed to meet his nephew. I was so upset I was caught off guard like that. In response, I said, "No, he's not allowed to meet my son after everything he's done. It's not like he could see him anyway." Tom heard that, and my parents gasped. They started arguing with me after Tom started crying. My fiancé joined the argument and tried to break it. He told me to go inside and he talked to my parents and they left. It was horrible. The whole family found out and started shaming me for mocking Tom's disability and making him feel hurt to the point of crying. My parents are livid with me, calling me all sorts of unhinged names and demanding that I apologize. And my fiancé said he understood my anger, but what I said was unacceptable. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He called CPS on you over money? Time to drop your parents if they're so adamant about making you let their golden child meet your son. For anyone coming after you, tell them to screw off because he had done irreversible damage to you. Open CPS case? Just because he threw a tantrum when you refused. I spat my water when she said that it's not like he can see them anyway. Sorry if that makes me an idiot, but damn, I'd never recover from that one. Dude knows he messed up. Insults are fair game, in my opinion, on anyone trying to separate a good parent from a child for no other reason than a false sense of entitlement. I'm visually impaired, and I thought that was a well-deserved comeback for this situation. If Tom's disability is his resource to manipulate situations, then it's open game to use it as a boundary. He called CPS once, and I wouldn't put it past him to do it again. Protect your family, OP, and cut all contact with the whole family. And has he ever apologized to OP for calling CPS? Did he let CPS know there was no issue? I wouldn't even be in his presence until these two things were done. What have the parents done to force the brother to be better? I would give the parents a long time out. Considering she still has an open CPS case, I assume he never did call to say he falsely reported as a revenge tactic. Considering that's a crime, and he would have had to face the consequences for his actions. I wouldn't put it past the brother to come up with a new false claim and revenge now. Oh, OP, what a comment you threw at him. Rude much? Sure. Well-deserved? Absolutely. If Tom were concerned you were neglecting your daughter, he would have told your parents about it and a course of action. Heck, maybe even talked to you directly. But calling CPS? Just because he didn't get money? Nah, sis, that man deserves no place in your kids' lives. As a mom, your direct family consists of your kids and your partner, and you protect them at all cost. Good on you for not giving in. This is going to sound so ridiculous, but here goes. I'm a 29-year-old female getting married to Terrence, 30 male. We've been together 8 years and are very much in love and perfect for each other in all ways. Our wedding is scheduled for September, and wedding planning has been going great. The only argument we've had over it is the subject of this post. Since Terrence and I met and started dating during our college production of Moulin Rouge, a musical, when we got engaged, I immediately suggested that our first dance be to Come What May, the romantic duet between the two main characters. It perfectly encapsulates our relationship and how much we love each other. We're both huge fans of the musical, and when I suggested it to Terrence, he loved the idea. However, Terrence recently came to me to tell me that his friend Ian, also 30 male, offered him $3,000 to prank me during our first dance by switching out Come What May for God's Plan by Drake. Specifically, Come With May would play for around 30 seconds, and then it would switch to the part where Drake says, "She says, 'Do you love me?' I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry," which I think is really tasteless for the first dance at a wedding. Ian works at a high-paying corporate job and also gets an allowance from his rich parents, and his sense of humor is mean, so it makes sense he would offer something like that. Ian also told Terrence not to tell me, but Terrence wanted to tell me anyway because he felt I deserved to know. I thanked him for telling me and started talking about how to confront Ian, but Terrence got sort of quiet, and when I asked him what was wrong, he said we should consider doing it, and I would just pretend I had no idea. He said that $3,000 could help pay for our honeymoon, and we could invest it. I was angry that he'd even consider doing it because it would be A, humiliating, and B, Come With May has meaning to both of us, and I want our wedding to be about us, not Ian's stupid prank. Terrence begged me to at least consider it because it would just be one moment of our wedding, but I said that I wanted our wedding to be a celebration of our love, not as a ploy to get money. Terrence then got quiet, told me he wanted alone time, and went to our room. I texted my brothers for advice, and both said they understood where I was coming from, but that I was being unreasonable and a bridezilla to not even consider it since $3,000 is a lot of money. I'm starting to think I might be an idiot because I guess our first dance isn't the most important thing in the grand scheme of life, and $3,000 would really help us out. But on the other hand, I just don't want one of the happiest days of our lives to be soured by a dumb prank. So, am I the idiot for not wanting the first dance to be ruined? No, not the idiot at all. Some things aren't worth the money, especially when it's degrading or could ruin an important moment. This does both. I think it would be funny if you were both into it and made it into a joke first dance, but even suggesting it as a prank on the bride is just vicious. You should be in on every joke or prank planned for your wedding day. I'm just trying to picture what this would look like if OP's fiance did this without telling her. Holy cringe. What, are you supposed to stand there in shock while the groom mouths the lyrics and dances alone? All for the prank of basically confessing he doesn't love you in front of all your friends and family. Your fiance's friend spends too much time on TikTok and has forgotten that moments last longer than 60 seconds and things can get very uncomfortable quickly. That friend is trash for suggesting that song is a prank. I don't agree with the idea of the prank at all, but there are other silly songs that he could have chosen but still upheld the love you and your fiance have. The fact that he picked a degrading one is inappropriate and shows what kind of person he is. I bet he wouldn't even pay up if your fiance went through with it. He would pull the, "It was just a joke. I never thought you'd do it." There's no guarantee he would keep his word. What's worse is this man is 30. That's nearly a decade past frat bro mentality. So what happens the next time Ian dangles money in front of your fiance's face for a prank? $3,000 at the wedding to tell her you don't love her in front of all her family and friends? $6,000 to cheat on her at the bachelor party? $10,000 to break up with her on social media by getting fake divorce papers? When do the pranks from this bully stop? And are there any limits to them? When will your fiance grow a spine and possibly grab his balls from Ian's wallet and stand up for you? I'm a 20-year-old female, and my fiance is a 23-year-old male. We bought a 90s car that needed some work. He got it fixed and he started driving me places in it. When I would ask or show I wanted to drive it, he got very upset about it. I never got to drive it, but his friends have. We ended up splitting up for a minute over it. I recently put a down payment on a 2022 Toyota Tacoma double cab. I went with my uncle to get it, and when I signed for it, I put it in my name, and my uncle co-signed for it. When I pulled in with it, he came outside smiling from ear to ear. He hugged me and thanked me for getting him his dream truck. I was trying to explain to him it was mine, but he had already jumped into it. He then saw the paperwork and asked if he needed to sign it. Before I could answer, he read whose name was on it. He slowly got out and went into the house. He didn't speak to me for the rest of the night. While I was at work, he texted me and said, "It's really disrespectful that you got my dream truck and didn't put it in my name. I'll be staying at my mom's tonight. I didn't respond. Later on, he sent me a pic of a GMC, asking if it was pretty. I said, I don't like GMCs, but if he liked it, it's pretty. He said, well, doesn't matter. You got the Toyota. So I just left him on red. He has yet to come home, and I'm regretting getting the truck. So, am I the idiot? Edit. I forgot that my uncle co-signed because I don't have any credit yet. Where I got the truck, you have to have credit. My uncle has some great credit, so he was willing to sign. I saved up $4,000 to put down and get a loan. My uncle didn't mind doing it because I make roughly $1.2K every month. Plus, I have savings my grandpa put away for me. My grandpa said I could use it to pay for the car. I don't know how much is in it, but my grandpa said it could get me through life without worrying for a year or so. Not the idiot. I mean, who assumes you bought them a car? Get rid of them. Just because you're together doesn't mean things should be in your names. I'm married and my wife's car is in her name, and mine is in my name. It's okay to have things that you alone have ownership of. I wonder if he was banking an OP, not wanting to cause trouble and letting him have it, then letting her drive the old car. It makes the most sense to me. OP, why are you letting this happen? Why are you not standing up for yourself with this man? Why are you regretting buying a vehicle that you like? I really hate to be one of those people telling a stranger to end their relationship, but please reconsider marriage with this man. At the very least, postpone the wedding, if there's a date set already, and see about getting counseling, individual or maybe as a couple. Note, if he is abusive, then don't get couple counseling. Your fiancé sounds entitled, but what's a red flag for me is that he's being dominant and you're adopting a very submissive position. Why did you never get to drive the van you contributed to buy? He got upset, and that was it? You gave in? He allowed other people to drive your van but not you, and he got away with it? It's clear he doesn't respect you and thinks he can bulldoze you to get whatever he wants. If you marry him, this will only escalate. Keep the truck, lose the man. Some information before I get into the conflict. I, 25 female, am a former professional gymnast. I retired last year and now coach other aspiring gymnasts. Unfortunately, like many in my profession, I had to retire at this age range due to the strain of the sport, and I'm no longer my most flexible. I've been dating my boyfriend, 29, for 10 months. Unlike me, he isn't in the sports industry. He's a programmer. We went to a party tonight at his friend's house, and this was a good way for him to introduce me to everyone all at once, though I've met a couple of them. Most of them were really nice, and I got along with them, but a few got gross when they learned of my profession, and I'm sure many of you can guess the comments that followed. Speculation on my flexibility, our bedroom activity, etc. I was very uncomfortable with this, but my boyfriend just laughed along with them. I told them I was not too fond of that kind of talk, and it degraded my sport how people always jump to that. My boyfriend told me to relax, and they just meant it as a joke. And it continued until I told my boyfriend I was going home and left upset. He tried to stop me, but I told him his friends could enjoy their speculation with me gone. It's now nearly 1 a.m., and I'm at home upset and feeling crappy about the whole thing. My boyfriend has been texting me, saying I overreacted, how I embarrassed him, and how I should expect those kinds of comments. I usually have a thicker skin about this stuff. I've heard it all before. People often harass girls and women who are gymnasts, but I was stressed about meeting his friends and making a good impression, and then ambushed by this, so it got under my skin more than it usually would. I'm ignoring his text and not replying as I don't feel in a good frame of mind not to snap further. Should I have just accepted it and not stormed off? Maybe tried to lead the conversation elsewhere? I feel bad for embarrassing him in front of his friends, but I was embarrassed at first. I wanted them to take me seriously as his girlfriend, not make me the joke of nasty speculation. Not the idiot. Boyfriend should have supported you, even if it was a simple, okay, knock it off, guys, or something. Instead, he laughed right along with them and got upset when you left after being what appears to be harassed by his friends. You're absolutely within your right to bite his head off for his behavior. You did nothing wrong, OP. You stood up to them, and he told you to let it go right in front of them. But of course they were going to continue. So he was basically telling them that it was okay to disrespect you. You are the company you keep. If a bunch of his friends are creepy chauvinists, chances are he is too. Honestly, him telling you that you should expect these comments shows how little he thinks of you. Respectful men would never think that you should expect to be harassed about your skills in the bedroom or degraded because you were a high-level athlete. Good men would be proud of your athletic skills and never put you down that way. You should not expect these comments from mature people. You deserve better than him. My 23 female, sister 32, and I were the product of an affair. Our father didn't want us around and our mom wasn't fit to take care of 2 kids. So my aunt took us in and gave us a better life than our mom would have given us. Along the way, my sister started to act out. First, she started stealing money from our aunt, and eventually, it got to the point where when I was 16, she and her boyfriend robbed us. My aunt stopped making excuses for her and disowned her. My sister constantly harassed my aunt by posting things about her on Facebook and spray painting her car or her and her friends egging it. This went on until my aunt died about 2 months later because of cancer. She didn't even care about her or anything like that, but asked if she was in the will, and if so, how much was left. I told her no, and that she didn't leave any money for anyone in the will. But I actually got a large amount of money. One of my cousins told her about the money, and she immediately jumped to asking for 50% of it because it was supposed to be hers. I told her no, and that she wasn't entitled to anything after how she treated my aunt, even after finding out about her cancer. Some family members are pushing me to give her a portion of it because she's my sister, and she meant just as much to my aunt. If my aunt were here, I know she'd call BS. My sister made the last years of her life stressful and tiring. Not the idiot. Nope, give her nothing. She is just an entitled brat, and if your aunt wanted her to have some of her money, she would have left her some. She deserves nothing. Make sure every penny is safely put away so that your sister can't steal it, maybe in various stocks, funds, bonds, or something. Your aunt didn't have to have a reason to cut your sister out, though obviously she had an excellent reason. Sister did not mean as much to OP's aunt as OP. Otherwise, that would probably have been reflected in the will. If anyone brings it up again, say she had her share early when she stole from my aunt. It may or may not shut them up, but it would be worth saying anyway. It would be disrespectful to your aunt for you to give your sister money. Your aunt did what she wanted to do. It's not the business of these family members as to whether or not you give them your money. However, if they're so worried about it, they can give your sister money. Your sister reaped what she sowed. Please don't give her a dime or she'll always be coming back for more.